So let's talk then about PSG, because Liam's got a question here. Do you think Neymar is part of the problem? I feel his attitude and inconsistency, to name a few issues, is not quite at the level it should be. What do you think? You saw the game.
It's hard to say a player of the quality of Neymar is part of the problem. And in most other teams in Europe, he'd be the main man. But I just think in this team, you've got, you know, too many chefs, not enough cooks.
How hard to coach is that squad, do you think?
Oh, it's got to be the hardest squad in Europe to, you know. Neymar's, you know, he's a great player, wonderful player, big ego. Mbappe, great player, wonderful player, big ego. Messi's the greatest player of all time. And off the ball, they're just not at it.
You did the game last night, right?
Yeah, and it's the same problems.
When Bayern got the ball, what was the PSG reaction?
It was bitty. Neymar actually last night pressed better than Messi, pressed better than Mbappe. Right. He sort of been subservient to them, but it's look, when Rio would tell you, when you set up a team to press, it has to be done functionally as a team. If one person switches off within that function, the whole machine falls down, and you get at this level, you get played round. They get away with it in Ligue 1, but in the Champions League, they don't get away with it. Bayern punished them.
You can see the goal here, but I think you can't. It's difficult to have, and it's proved so far, having two luxury players when it was Neymar and Mbappe is difficult. Having three of them with Messi added to that. As great a players and individuals that they all are, and game changers that they all are, match winners that they all are, as a team, to win at the highest level, you have to have 11 players, at least 10 players that are going to graft for the 90 minutes. But in this team, you've got 3 players that kind of just say, you know what, we're going to let the others do the most of the work, and we're going to be the icing on the cake. And so far in the Champions League, that has not been enough, and that's not got them over the line. And I worry about that again this season for them.
Well, let's talk about their chances then in the Champions League this season, because it feels like, once again, this could be the beginning of PSG sliding out the competition.
It does feel like that, but I'll put an asterisk on that for PSG fans or Messi fans at the moment. The last 20 minutes, they put the burners on. Mbappe come on, and they made 2 or 3 chances, and they could have won the game, let alone drew the game. Because they had moments. I think crucial, the difference with this PSG team, which is why I think they got a glimmer of hope, 2 reasons. Sergio Ramos is back playing to the top of his game, and Donnarumma, I think they've got an outstanding keeper, and them 2 will have to be outstanding in the second leg, and they'll need moments in the front three. He could have done better for the goal. Yes, that's he could have done better for the goal, but he kept them in it in the first half. He was outstanding.
Come on, they've got to go to Germany, and they've got to beat a team who've only conceded a goal in one Champions League game so far this season and won them all.
This is probably the only team around that can go and say, like Joe said, in a split second, Mbappe comes on and the game almost turns on its head. They've got 3 players that can do that.
They had
one at any given moment from anywhere on the pitch.
Yeah. They had 1 shot on I think it was the lowest shots on target. First, I think it was like 50, 60 minutes till they had a shot on target with them great players in their team. They was absolutely battered by Bayern Munich. Mbappe comes on, the game changes, he'll be fit for the second leg. So they've got a chance.
They're not out of it.
They're not out of it.
Do you see them going to Munich and scoring a couple of goals?
I think it's a tall order, but you can't write them off. Mbappe goes in a World Cup final, scores 4 goals. Doesn't lift it where he gets. So it tells you that at the biggest moments, these guys can do it. Messi's done it for 20 years doing that. Neymar's done it continuously over his career. So you can't write these guys off because they've got absolutely crazy, ridiculous, generational match winners.